look at your channel or your Instagram or whatever, your TikTok. It's really easy to figure out that you're literally making horror punk. You're just doing it with beats instead of guitars. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review Podcast. Man, if you checked out my video, actually, by this time, you wouldn't have checked it out yet because it's not live until tomorrow. Again, you don't know that because we're recording this on, what is it, like Thursday? So whenever you see this, go back and watch my top 5 horror punk bands video. And I mentioned this dude in that video. But what you been up to, man?
Nothing. Just went to Pittsburgh like twice in the past month and a half, and then
So what'd you go to Pittsburgh for? Just to go kick it?
Oh yeah, my homie lives up there. Like pretty much my best friend, man, Justin and I.
Nice.
I tattoo when I'm up there too, so it's like I go see my.
That's right.
Kids and you know what I mean, and then,
make a little bread.
Yeah, hang out. Probably won't go back for a little bit. It's cold as fuck there.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be no cold, bro.
Cold, man. I hate it.
Well, you're in Florida. I'm in Texas. Both of us are like cold. Ugh. Like,
yeah, I'm just not good. I don't want to like get out of bed or do shit.
No, dude. Yeah, I just want to lay in the bed with a blanket on and a hoodie.
I hate wearing like a lot of clothes to like go do anything. Oh, go to the store. I have to get dressed for 20 fucking minutes.
No, that is irritating. I like to wear, like, you and I are the only two people that I know that like wear Crocs like with no shame. Like I don't care. They're comfortable. They're relatively affordable and they are water resistant, which is huge for us down in the South. Like if a flood just happens, because that could happen, we'd be all right with our Crocs on.
Stupid. I think they look really tacky and stupid, but that's I think. I'm like, these are fucking. We're an idiocracy, bro.
No, I try to tell people that
those shoes because they never thought that people would wear shit that stupid.
Well, the funny part is that they're not actually that stupid. We're just so programmed to think that Nikes are what we should be wearing. Because if you look at your feet, Crocs are more about what you should be wearing. They're better for your feet. They're better for your toes. They're better for your balance.
See how much we paying for some of them Yeezys that look like alien feet?
Bro, those are
is ridiculous.
If you give me crap for wearing Crocs and you're wearing a pair of those, we might fist fight, bro. Like that's.
Yo, I saw a dude at the airport a couple months ago with those like giant boots on that looked like a cartoon. I was like, no, yeah. You're really wearing those, dude?
Dude, I saw a guy wearing those in the airport. Like that's exactly.
Like it sucks. Why would you want boots on that big? It's like fucking worse than wearing clown shoes. Like that seems hard to fucking walk in.
I don't understand how those exist. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
A lot of shit, bro. I mean, that's why I'm in my own world over here, just making my own weird shit, thinking about dumping stuff up with. You know what I mean? I don't want to get it. I guess maybe I'm old. A lot of shit.
That's how I feel about a lot of things. Is I'm just like, man, that's young. That's too young for me. I can't. I'm 42 in like less than 6 months. I don't care about
like really, I can listen to a lot of like music and shit that's popular that's not for me and still realize like why people like it or understand.
Yeah.
But sometimes some shit is like, it's so silly to me, bro, that like when I first heard Yeet and shit, still kind of I'll giggle and shit. I'm like, this is stupid to me. But, bro. For that kid, he's got it figured the fuck out. I don't. That's kind of the only one I can really think of right now that makes me.
Real quick before we go any further, I want to point out to anybody that's wondering. I don't know if anybody actually is wondering, but the intro outro music on my channel now, y'all got this man to thank for that because he went and got that made for me. He made it. Like
my homie Justin in Pittsburgh. Shout out Justin. He
for real.
He did that with me. He did the guitar and stuff, and like we just sat down. We're like best friends, and we can't get along doing stuff and music, and we tried. So like, I'll help him do his stuff, and I was like, "Yo, here's something we could actually do together. We only have to make a 15-second riff. Like, we can go do this in 20 minutes, dude. And
Right?
we, you know, probably like an hour or so, we like whipped it up and recorded everything.
Well, I've had a few people reach out about it, man, and they're like, "Yo, that sounds like you." I don't know how you figured that out so quick because that does sound like me. Like that song fits my channel to a degree that's kind of weird. Like dude, I heard it.
Like
I heard it one time, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that works." Like it took one listen. I was like, nah, 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 and I was like, oh, "Yeah, that's perfect." Like,
like I don't know what I would think of an intro in like a very familiar, just sounding fucking simple punk rock.
right?
You know what I mean?
For sure, man. You've been going to a lot of like, well, I'd say a lot. We talk pretty regularly, and you've been going to some shows. You've been playing shows. How's that been going?
I haven't played a show in a little while. I have one Saturday. I don't know when this is going to come. I feel like
this will be out probably the following Monday. So you have a show like a couple of days before this comes out, I guess.
Yeah, Saturday. I have a song coming out tomorrow too. I can. The video is supposed to come out at midnight, but I think I'm gonna push that shit to like 5 o'clock tonight. Cause why not?
Yeah. I mean, why not? I always do things early.
It's about what we do in the shadows, relatively. Like I've been watching that show too much.
That's a good show to watch.
Making a song about it, kind of, and Matt Berry liked it on TikTok, so Laszlo liked it. So I'm like, that's a win.
That's awesome.
It didn't do very well past that. I got like to a couple hundred views and just stopped. But I'm like, Matt Berry liked it. Laszlo,
dude,
fuck you.
I think people have this misconception of how easy it is to get 1,000 views on anything. That's not easy. Like,
man, I think TikTok has this shit. Like, I don't even understand it anymore. I'm like, well, if it gets a bunch of comments or whatever bullshit, saves and likes real quick, it'll go past like 200 to 300.
Yeah.
But I even tried that with one. I had like a bunch of people commented on it real quick. And I'm like, okay, like 50% of the people that saw it liked it. And then it still just stopped. I don't know how it works. I'm not.
Dude, I don't know how it works either because
it factors into your shit to like how like it'll get pushed more in other algorithms and streaming.
Well,
you beat the robots, like you got to figure Skynet's moves out or something. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense because I've got almost 18,000 on TikTok and I don't even mess with it anymore, man, because I'll put up 3 videos in one day. They'll all be the exact same kind of video. It'll be like a live clip that I found of some important song from an important band, right? I'll just put 3 random videos up. Boom, boom, boom. It has like the headliner, like this is who it is. This is the song. This is the date that it played. This is where. It's just like a cool video that people might like of a song, right? There's no rhyme or reason to it. One will get 10,000 views and the other 2 will get 100. It makes no sense.
I don't know, man. I know if people share your shit, that helps anyway. People share shit across the internet. If they fuck with it, helps like so much more than they know. And like,
oh, dude,
on videos, just like little dumb shit that takes 1 second, you know.
If I could get one person to share every video that I drop, I would probably have 10,000 subscribers already. Because dude, sharing matters so much more than a comment. There's like tiers to how much this stuff matters. Like a view is cool and all, but a like is better. A like is cool and all, but a comment is better.
It's like on like Spotify or something, people adding it to playlists or like liking it and listen to it a few times and then sharing it. It just gets pushed to way more people. You know what I mean?
I need to share more Spotify songs on like Instagram and stuff because it's not hard. And I know it helps my friends. I just don't think about doing it. But I should definitely do that more. I was, dude, I got a funny story about your music, dude. So when I went to FedEx, right? So get these cards made, the guy that works there, he's like probably 10 years older than me, but he's got like his ears are pierced and he's got this look about him that you can tell he's been to shows. Like you can just tell. And so we're talking and he's like, hey, what are these for? And he's like looking at it and he's like, oh man, independent music. He's like, what are you making these for? And I was like, I got a little cassette label, man. It's just, you know, I do 150 tapes at a time. Nothing crazy, but it's hella fun. And I get to meet cool people. And so that's like a hobby kind of, you know. And he's like, oh man, are you making any money? I was like, I mean, that's not really my goal. So I don't know. I was like, I think I got kind of close to breaking even on my first one. and the second one's got a little steam, but I don't really know how to answer that. I was like, but I like the way I want to make them look good, so I got these cards I'm making. And he was like, oh man, do you design these? I was like, yeah. And he's like, these are cool, man. And he's like, I used to do flyers, and so we start chopping it up. And so the next time I go in to see him, I bring a TJ tape just because I'm like, yo, this guy's super cool. He likes DIY stuff. Let me just give him a tape, just like as a thank you for helping me with this stuff, because he put a lot of time into like helping me get this stuff like sized the right way and cut the right way. I had to go back and redo it once because they were all cut too close to the top. But he was super cool, right? So I get there today and I'm like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, hey. And he's like, how was your vacation? And I was like, yeah, it was pretty good, man. And then he goes, hey, so that tape you gave me, I was like, I couldn't find my tape player. He's like, but my boss has a tape player, so I let him borrow it. And I was like, oh, that's dope, man. I was like, you think he'll listen to it? He goes, yeah, man. And then he's like talking. He's like, he's really active in his church. And I was like, huh? And I was like,
how well like Texas church dude and my stuff will go over, you know, maybe. I don't know.
Well, he goes, he's not that square. And I was like, yeah, but did he read the title of the tracks? And he's like, I don't know. I was like, he should have read the title of the track. So I was like, I'd like to know how he reacts to that. If you think about it, send me an email. I was like, let me know, bro. Because if he comes back like that shit slaps, I'll be like, let's go. That would be so
Which is weird. It's even like, I think about it now. I don't know. Maybe because I'm old. Is anything like as far as like sex or violence at this point, like even offensive? Like there's been, look at how big some songs are right now or have been that are just fucking ridiculous.
It depends on who you are, because my mom and everybody that she knows, that includes like my sister who is 2 years younger than me, they don't listen to that stuff, man. They don't know who they know who Cardi B is, but they don't know her songs. My sister knows about WAP, and she's like, that doesn't get talked about in my house.
I thought you were gonna maybe go the other way and be like, and since we all live in Houston, they fuck with Megan Thee Stallion hard.
Dude, I forgot she's from here, bro. I don't listen to none of that stuff. That would be
I was like, I thought they were gonna be like, see, they got
no, but like it's still in her church, like not to get religious and weird, but like in her church, like they're still conservative, and I don't mean that in like the political sense. They're just conservative people. Like they're not square, I would call them, but they don't like.
I do have some like older friends and like older people I know, like kind of families, people like on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
I think about that, like, you know, they definitely do not fuck with what I'm doing. Like you know, they're like, why? I have actually got asked by a few people, like legitimately been like, why do you say stuff like that? And I'm like,
because I want to. Like
the like horny fucking songs. I was like, okay, so I can write 10,000 songs about like killing people and like deaths, like all this like horror gore type stuff.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm like, you talk about a wiener or something now. I've never understood that, right?
Dude.
Like I just like horror, like, and no one hates on like the horror movie directors get hated on. Or like Stephen King, to people are like, why do you say stuff like that? Like they do to musicians.
Well, some of them do, and some of them, and Quentin Tarantino definitely gets a lot of hate. So yeah, I guess. So I mean, I get asked sometimes because I'm like, I wouldn't call myself like a churchgoer, but I believe in God. I'm fairly religious. People are like, why do you support these people? I'm like, I don't be judging folks. Like that's why. Like I don't. It's not. They're gonna do it whether I ever support them or not. So like, that's what am I gonna do? Tell people that I'm friends with, hey, don't talk like that, bro. I'm not a child, man. You do what you want to do. You got questions, ask me. Like that's, I don't know. It's a weird thing to be telling people how to behave when they're 40. Like
I also think that be like, well, because you don't act that way or believe that, you can't fuck with someone that is different than you. I'm like, why not?
I'm like, you ever read the Bible, bro? Like Jesus was regularly hanging out with the raw kind of people.
He was kicking it with dirt bags for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Dude, like, I don't want to say nothing disrespectful, get me struck down, but anyways, yeah, bro. Like, hey, dude, look, man. Yeah, I've seen some wild stuff, and I've heard some wild stories that I don't have any reason to not believe. So, like, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to be respectful when I can, and that goes across the board. Like, that means to like people too. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like, abortion's a big topic in like churches,
Yeah,
and I'm always like, yo, why are you bothering with somebody else's life? Like, they're like, well, it's a sin, and I'm like, well, that's between them and the maker, right? They're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, you're tripping, bro. Like, you're just trying to butt your nose in people's business. Stop it.
I can't fuck with that very flip flop of that. And then the next minute they're like, judge not, and I'm like, that's exactly what the fuck you're doing.
That's why I'm not a church goer.
Certain shit that's like cool to do, and this is fucked up, and ignoring everything around it. I'm like, that okay.
Well, I mean, that's the questions right there, though. Like that's why I sit here on a Sunday and like think about, man, should I go to service today? Just check it out and just kind of hang out and try to be around some positivity. And it's like, I can't bring myself to make the decision to like go sit around a bunch of hypocrites. Like, I just can't.
Yeah, it's very judgy, man. I'm not saying there, there's definitely like solid people, but
For sure,
it's a fucking show. Like, they pull up in there and they like, act all great and nice and pretend like put on this front to everyone else like they're this, pure, like wholesome
dude.
folk. But
I had this theory though. It's the bigger the group gets, the more crazy like that it gets. Because I've been to like really small churches where it was like 20 people, everybody was chill, nobody was judging nobody, and they all do everybody's business. So if you did something stupid, they're gonna call you out on it. And then like everybody was chilling because they were like, nah, I don't want to be.
People just really like it. Like, look at it, like Joel Osteen dork or whatever his name is.
Man, I'm ashamed of that guy.
It works for everything. It works just like music, right? If you're in like a big enough place with enough fog machines and like cool ass lasers and a screen, and you're like hype man at it, and people already know the words. It's just like being at a show, but they know like the Bible stories, and they're like,
yeah.
Yeah, so they're just feeling it. I think that's
dude, Joel Osteen got breakdancers that come out before he comes out and preach.
Yo, I feel like
Megan Thee Stallion open for Joel Osteen.
Yeah, really like church folks, right? Like especially like Pentecostals. That's just for people that have all this energy and are hyped and like they can't fucking dance or play sports, so they run up and down the aisles like doing, and everybody's like, yeah.
So you're saying for white people, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's definitely a white people. It's hilarious, dude.
They're just like,
yeah, like I went to one of those with some friends when I was like 10 or 11, probably. Shout out BJ. Yeah, they might still fuck with these dudes. They're like parents or their mom took us to this shit, and it was one of them churches that's real big. This shit's still going. And you go in and they try to dupe you as a kid. You're like in the gym and they're giving you candy and they're like, fuck yeah, this is cool. And they got some really whack version of a popular song that's about
yeah.
I love those. They're so funny. Anyway, and then you go into like where the adults are. I've been to like church, a bunch of different kinds of church, like a lot of Baptist-y churches, and just sit with friends and stuff when I was young, and older folks in the family. So I had no fucking clue about people speaking in tongues, none. So I'm like in church and shit, with, and these people start just like, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, bro.
Fuck is going on? I was like, what are they doing? And my friend's like,
tripping
in tongues. He's like, it's fucking weird, isn't it? And what is this? And my homies, like, it's called speaking in tongues, but I'm like, what are they doing though? Like, what the fuck is it? And they try to be like, well, it's God speaking through them. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if God could talk, it wouldn't be gibberish like that.
Facts, bro. Dude, this video's gonna get so many weird comments, dude.
Well, I'm not hating on it. I just didn't understand.
No. Other people are gonna hate on religious stuff because we're over here having a good time, giggling, not taking things seriously. They're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, this is stupid." Like, you know how people get, especially like atheist types, bro. They're more religious than most Christian folks I know.
Everything you can be into silly. If you're into sci-fi and shit, you're a fucking dork. Like whatever kind of thing. If you're really into like,
I mean, have you seen a mohawk, bro? They look ridiculous, but they're awesome.
Yeah, like, also old punk dudes that like hate on how young rappers look now. I'm like, oh, just like punk rock dudes, like they're trying to look ridiculous as possible so people fucking stare at them. Like,
that's funny,
what
bro.
I mean?
Hey, One last thing before we get off this topic, is we got to move on to something else, bro. So when I was a kid, bro, I was in like alternative school, and I got kicked out of there too. I had to go to this like daytime military camp thing. It was just,
Yeah.
it was called High Point North. If anybody's from Houston, man, let me know if you went there. Not very many people did, but I met
military school.
Yeah, bro, I met my sister's baby daddy there. Like that's how dysfunctional this group was, bro. My best friend ended up being my brother-in-law almost. Anyways, yeah, but that's a whole nother story. But so he's black, right? And so I had gone to church as a kid with my mom. It was like a 2-hour thing on Sunday morning. You go, you have like a class for like 45 minutes, and like a sermon, and then like a sermon for like an hour, and then you go to lunch and you go, oh, bro, you'd be sleeping in that jank. But like, so one day my mom is like, hey, Andre wants you to go stay at his house on a Saturday night. And she's like, you're going to get up and go to church with his mom. So just take your clothes with you. I was like, all right, cool. I get there on Saturday. He's like, bro, and we're outside like smoking cigarettes or something, being bad. And he's like, you ever been to a black church? And I was like, what's the difference? And he's like, oh, and I was like, what? He goes, nothing. No, he goes, I'll tell you in the morning. And he goes, but be ready, bro. It's like 6 hours. I was like, 6 hours of what? And he goes, 6 hours of church. And I was like, huh? I called my mom quick. Hey, you got to come pick me up, man. He says 6 hours. My mom was like, 6 hours of what? She's like, church. I was like, complete. She's like, baby, it's 10:39. I'm not picking you up. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? And I get there, bro. Yo, I wasn't kidding about breakdancing. I wasn't talking about Joel Osteen, bro. They was in there dancing, singing, high-fiving people. I was in there. I felt amazing when I left that place, bro. So shout out to the right kind of people. Like
more of a connect where everyone's feeling it and happy and they're in the moment and not just sitting around staring at one another being like, did you
it was interesting, man, because it was a whole bunch of like, because they would talk during the sermon, like they'd be like, and then this dude said this, and this guy would be like, amen. And I'm like, bro, I feel you on that. Sometimes you at a show, you're like, yeah, it's the same thing. Like it's a religious experience.
Thing. Your audience is kind of feeling it. And I don't know why a lot of that is I don't know. They're like, shit has to be boring. Why does it have to be boring? I don't understand.
Dude, there's actually answers for that question. It's just people don't want to listen to the answers. They don't want to accept the answers. It's not that it has to be boring. It's just that there's reverence involved, and like, you know, everybody has their own version of that, dude. I'm not even saying that. My mom's been to those churches and stuff. She didn't have no problem with it. Like, it's not. It's just different.
Catholic church a couple times with some homies as a kid. That shit's weird as fuck to me.
You say Catholic? Mm-hmm. No, Catholic churches are weird. I've been to a bunch of churches. That's the weirdest one.
You know what I mean? It's very ritualistic.
Oh man, it seems very what's it called? Cultish to me.
Well, I like the buildings always. They built some very cool looking shit.
Dude, okay. Dude, how much stuff does horror, hip hop, and punk rock get from religious stuff? Let's be honest, though.
It definitely does. You know what I mean? It's like an antithesis type thing. Like I mean, people have built their whole like personality and style or brands off of just being like, whatever they're doing, we're doing the opposite. Like Black Crap or something. You know what I mean? They're like, we're always, you know.
That's how punk rock is with politics too.
It's like, ugh.
You know, real quick, dude, if anybody's wondering why I keep looking like this on my screen, it's because I'm talking to my camera, but TJ's over here. So like, I keep wanting to look at you, be like, what's up, fool? But I can't because I look ridiculous doing this. Yeah, so my camera's in front of me, but my monitor's to the left of me. So I tend to look back and forth a bunch. So if it looks weird, it is what it is.
Oops.
Yeah, man. So, dude, I have a friend that's in Florida. Well, she's actually in Houston right now. She's going back to Florida tonight. She's working for Disney. Like, she's like a homie. And
that's not
it's fun. Bro, I hate Disney so much. Like, I hate everything about Disney. And so her and I always be arguing, like not arguing, but like friend arguing, you know, where she'll be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's that evil Disney shit again. And she's like, she didn't know that Walt Disney was like kind of a scummy dude. She had no idea. She's young. She's like 20 years old, I think. I say homie, she's like my work homie. Like I'm like her uncle at this point. Like I know her folks and stuff. But anyways, how's Florida right now? I haven't been watching any kind of TV or anything, so I don't know what's going on in the world. Florida okay?
I mean, it's the same as always, you know.
So no.
Nah, I mean, it seems fine. I mean, I think people are more tripping about like fucking World War III and stuff than smaller local things currently.
We should be probably. I don't really want to talk about that either, to be honest. But I mean, things are pretty gnarly right now. People are making real bold decisions and doing a lot of crazy stuff right now.
The world is very wild, and people get very in their feelings about topics like that. That's why I just, for the time being, stay in my own lane and just make music and fuck off. You know, people waste.
I was telling somebody the other day that the stuff that's happening right now has been happening for the last 100 years. We just didn't have the internet, and so when stuff was
and it always has been, man. That's a real thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so. Well, since we didn't have a way to know, we didn't know what was happening in, let's say, some little town in Germany somewhere back in the 70s, unless it was on the news or in the newspaper, which they didn't cover that stuff back then. So now that we have
the camera and they're fucking all the time.
And if it bleeds, it leads is like the biggest thing that's ever happened in human history. So like all we want to hear about is the negativity. We don't ever want to hear positivity. So when you see like a peace treaty get signed, you'll never hear about it. But when a dude blows up a town, everybody talks about it. So it just seems like everything is bad.
It sells. The news loves that shit, you know, like or famine, fucking diseases, all that good shit. You know what I mean? Because people get really invested in it.
It's weird, man. It's weird. Very weird. So what's the next couple of months look like for you? What are you doing have you decided or not decided, but have you thought about doing a tour of any kind?
I want to. I have to figure all that out, man. I feel like I have to catch a little more steam, or like, you know, doing everything alone is hard. I mean, it's not hard. Like, I mean, but like writing everything and making my beats from scratch and mixing, producing it, making my videos by myself most of the time, like all that shit. And it's weird how many friends I have in the touring world or in bands and stuff. And I'm just like, but it's like such different worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know who's paying me to come play in their town. You know what I mean?
It would depend on
I would figure it out. I mean, I would love to. It's just like I need someone probably that's way better at like booking shows and doing that, like, you know,
that stuff is difficult. Yeah, I mean, you know that from being in hardcore bands. Like that's not easy.
Yeah, it's a lot too. Like when I'm trying to figure everything out myself, and I constantly want to make shit. Like I have a song coming out tomorrow that'll be out when this video comes out, and I have a show coming Friday, but I'm like working on these like 2 or 3 other songs, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should make a set list and make sure I remember the fucking words to my songs.
Right. Well, I was thinking that what would benefit you the most is since you're doing hip hop stuff and you're doing it like solo, it would benefit you the most to be able to like maybe save up a little. I don't know how easy this would be, but I was just thinking like the idea that made sense to me was like save a little bit of money and then find another group or another artist that's doing a tour like Southern United States and being like, yo, can I hop on a tour? I don't want nothing for it. I just want to ride with you and play shows every night and then sell some merch or something to help you make a little extra bread. It would be more of like, it would cost you more than you would make, but it would be worth it for the experience and the you know, just getting your name out there. But I mean, it's so hard. It's not easy to do any of this stuff.
Like fucking buy on spots and tours, but I'm always like not super into that. You know what I mean?
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of tours, dude, people will pay like a certain amount, but it includes like, you know, their travel and this and that, and like,
okay, I didn't know that.
Paying to be on the tour, you know, a lot of them actually do that. These fast dudes,
I guess that is kind of what I was saying, but I was just meaning like hop on and be like, yo, I just want to tag along.
You see at fests and shit like that, or
all the who?
Like smaller, like local bands or mid-level bands, you see it like big ass fest. Usually they be on there.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. People will pay like $1,500, $2,000 or something to play at fucking 10 in the morning at like.
That's crazy.
Big fuck metal fest, you know.
Or like when we were young, they're opening it up at like 9 a.m. playing some side stage.
Yeah, I mean, I got to like a band I was in was like 20. We got to do some little bullshit stage like Warped Tour shows and stuff. So that that was cool. You know what I mean? Like that was You don't mind, because at that age, like I would have, like, if I didn't have a friend, which at that time I didn't have a lot of friends that worked in that world, so I definitely would have had to like pay money to get in and like
Yeah.
buy stuff and not be able to hang out all day. So
Any kind of opportunity with the Warped Tour would have been smoking hot back then, though. Like that would have been that'd have been the shit, dude. That's what you want. What do you think about all this stuff happening right now within pop punk? I know you're not super into that stuff right now, but like, it's
I
weird.
like some pop punk, man. I just like, more older pop punk, and it's crazy.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because the Green Day is doing stuff, Alkaline Trio, Blink-182, like all these bands that we grew up.
Green Day announced the other night they're doing the Dookie 30-year tour with fucking Smashing Pumpkins and Rancid.
Oh yeah,
my old ass is going to that shit.
Yes, sir. I don't like Smashing Pumpkins, but I want to go see Rancid.
I like.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I'm taking. So we're gonna talk to the kids and say, hey, if this is what you want for your Christmas gift, let us know. We'll get tickets for all of us. And my kids want to see Rancid, and I'm like, that makes me. You know how that makes me feel, bro. I'm like, what? Let's do it, bro.
I don't even at this point know how many. I've seen Rancid a lot of times.
I have too, but my kids haven't, so I'm super psyched.
Yeah, I would be psyched too. It's not like I never avoid going. Like I usually go
right.
anytime.
I want to see him play with Billy Joe, do the Armstrong song maybe, and have Billy Joe do radio with him or something. That's what I'm going to go see. I've only seen Green Day once, and it was a long time ago.
I've never seen Green Day my whole life. Never.
I've only seen them once, and it was like, I mean, I think it might have even been the 90s.
Yeah.
Very early on 2000s, if it wasn't. So, I mean, it was like probably it was way before. I think it was before Warning came out. Maybe it was a long time ago, dude. But
like a band I never fucking. I saw Smashing Pumpkins. They played like fucking down the street from where I live for like this weird period. Like when I was a kid, a lot of bigger bands were playing in my town, and we're like 30 miles from Tampa and like 40 or 50 from Orlando, like right between. So usually it's both of those or one of those. There's bigger spots. But for a while, like a lot of shit was like coming through here, which was cool, because I had to go like 2 minutes away from my house and shit.
So I got a question for you. How'd you get into Smashing Pumpkins, and what do you like about them? What's some songs that you like that they play?
God, I don't know, bro. Like I think my age at the time when they were popular, some shit like so many of your friends listen to it and stuff, it just grows on you. I think
that's true.
It was more like that, and now it seems more nostalgic. But I even like their like last record that's basically like, a synth wave fucking they turned into like.
I mean, I like that kind of music, so if that's what they did on the last record, I might like that.
Like in my head, I'm like, why don't Smashing Pumpkins and AFI do a tour where they just play their fucking synthwave shit? I'm like, they sound like the same kind of shit now. Like,
dude, AFI. I was just talking to my buddy this morning, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm in the kitchen playing AFI. My daughter's jumping around, looks like she's hardcore dancing. I'm nailing this parenting thing." I was like, "Yeah, what AFI?" And he's like, what did he say? It wasn't Black Sails. It was the one right before that. And I said, well, I prefer their earlier material, but that's an acceptable answer. And he goes, oh, dude, after Black Sails, they weren't AFI anymore. I was like, facts, bro. They should have just changed our whole name.
I had some records after that. Me and my homie were talking.
Oh, really?
It was one of them things, like when that Sing the Sorrow deal came out, it was weird to me. There was like electronic drums and it was really produced. So, younger me is like, for a little bit, and I listened to it, and I'm like, man, they wrote some really good songs. Like, this band is great. Like,
I just couldn't do it.
The last couple I haven't fucked with a lot. I've listened to them, and they're like, whatever, you know what I mean? Not bad, just not for me, I guess,
Well, in my opinion, it was like, okay, dude, if you're going to change the entire sound of your band, I would have been way more receptive if it was like, yo, the dudes in AFI have another band. It's called this, and it sounds way different. I'd have been like more open to that. But they're like, no, we're still AFI. No, you're not. Like, you're not the same band anymore. But whatever. I mean, to each their own. I mean, I don't really care.
Look at bands like how popular Bring Me the Horizon is. Like, they're like a pop band now, and they were like a death band to start.
You definitely win the points with that because you were very much correct, sir.
They went from like across the board to multiple fucking genres.
But I mean, I don't like very much music that band's put out anyways, but you are correct. They've been very, very popular for a very long time, and they've got fans from like so many different genres
Yeah,
that like an album or so.
I mean, and they've been a band for kind of a long time now. It's
Yeah, like
hard
20 years.
to be a band over 10 years. Like, there are so few bands that can put out like more than 3 or 4 records and even be relevant in their genre. As far as bands that are like big as fuck somehow forever, like it's rare. Like, you got your like Chili Peppers and Deftones type bands that have just been like somehow
always big,
relevant as fuck, and are doing a good job at the thing they do. You know, like Anthony Kiedis has fucking. How is he the luckiest dude in the world?
He really is.
Like,
that band sucks, and he's very famous.
Well, he knows that like everyone in his band's good as fuck, and he is just
dude. Yes,
the most bullshit ass, stupid fucking songs. Good for him, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not even hating. I mean, I'm hating, but I'm not hating. Like, so here's something that's a little more relevant to the.
Great, but to not be like, wow, these dudes are in here slaying it like this, and you're fucking Ramalama, California. You know what I mean? Like, Calamassing or whatever the fuck you're talking about. You know?
I do have to wrap up here in a minute. I have to get ready. If I didn't have to go to work, I wouldn't care. I'd sit here for another hour and hang out because I haven't talked to you like this in a while. As a matter of fact, we might want to do this again in a couple of weeks just to catch up again. Here's a question that's kind of relevant to what you were talking about. How do you feel about the new Blink stuff? Have you heard it?
I didn't listen to the whole thing. The first song made me giggle because it was like so old manish to like, does it take a plane crash to be a band again?
Okay, so the single they dropped.
I heard one of the other one or two, and I was like, this is pretty all right. You know what I mean? I need to sit down and listen to it. There's a lot of stuff.
I would love to hear your thoughts on it as a record, because I did do a stream where we listened to the whole record. Yeah. And then I did a review on the album, and I gave it a fairly high grade. But
I watched a review on it. Yeah.
Did you? I'm pretty picky with stuff like that. So I think that I graded it fairly, and I think it was impressive to me what they were able to do. My reason for asking is because you were just talking about how something this band's been around for almost a quarter of a century, or maybe even more than that now. And
they broke up and did a lot of different shit, but they are still there.
But that's kind of my point, though. They did all that. They came back, and they're probably bigger now than they were. I don't know, but I don't get it, man. Like when I did the review for that one song you were just talking about.
Yeah.
All I said was, I appreciate the lyrics. I understand why they made it, but I thought it was kind of boring, and it just wasn't for me. Never said it was a bad song. I got roasted for like 2 weeks in my comments.
Really?
Oh, bro.
He's got like Swiftie fucking K-pop type fans. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude, it's wild, man. I didn't know Blink had that kind of stuff going on either. But like everybody that was mad at me for doing that, though, not a single one of them was a punk rocker. They were a fan of Blink-182. It's a very different thing. So
yeah, they were just like some like normal person that happened.
Some Blink fan that came to my channel to watch the video, and then they thought they were going to get me raving on it and saying it was great, and I didn't. So I do kind of get it. I'm not even mad. Like, it is what it is. A couple of them were really cool about it too. They were like, yada yada yada, and I was like, well, this is what I said. So what made you mad? And they're like, oh, actually, never mind. You're right. You didn't actually say anything wrong. I'm like, no, I didn't.
About you not agreeing with them, and I don't understand, especially in the metal and punk rock world, right? That this doesn't make sense. People are like, everyone's an idiot because they don't like what I like. But if a bunch of people start liking what they like, then that shit's stupid and everyone's dumb still. Like, it's impossible. You know what I mean?
That is the intro to this video. 100%. I need people to hear that over and over and over, because that is the most insane thing that I've ever heard in my life. People do that all the time. They're like, oh, man. And it's not even that, dude. They want to be a counterculture, but when you don't like what they like, they're like, I'm part of this subculture of people, but you don't like it, so you're an asshole. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I'm a punk rock fan. I like stuff that most people don't like, and I don't like things that everybody else likes.
There's a lot. I listen to a lot of shit, like, you know what I mean, across the board, and basically every genre of shit. And I like a lot of metal stuff, like black metal, or even crust and grindy shit that, like, it sounds like shit, dude.
Check this out. Hold on.
It's not like I'm not gonna tell a person that doesn't like nerdy fucking bullshit like, hey, you should listen to this band that sounds like it was recorded in a fucking trash can. You know what I mean?
No, dude, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you like it? This is stupid. Like, you know,
I don't even like this. I bought it simply for the fact that I it's gonna end up somewhere else. Look what I found when I was in Vegas, dude. That's not a recent pressing,
oh, that's sick.
bro. Yeah, dude. Like, look how clean it is, bro.
Damn, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's the first pressing of this thing. I'm not gonna tell you on air how much I paid for it. It was a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. They didn't make very many.
No, they didn't.
That's I got like how they sounded then, and they went to real epic-y and kind of
right
whole power metal and
yeah, like I was surprised that like because I actually know about them a little bit, and I'm not into that kind of music at all, and I don't care. People like what they like. I'm not gonna judge nobody. It just ain't really for me. But like that tape is like history, and I was like, man, I'm such a music fan that I was like, dude, I can't believe this guy. Even the guy that had it at his shop was like tripping on it. He's like, I can't believe this is in here right now. And I was like, well, it ain't gonna last very long because I'm gonna buy it. And he was like, he showed me the price tag, and I was like, figured it'd be like that. And he was like, all right. So you know, I bought a couple of cool things.
Started with about punk rock kids and rappers looking stupid. It's one of the things when I know dudes that like metal and stuff, and it'll be like, look at how stupid this or that person looks. I'm like, bro, go to shows where dudes look like fucking panda bears covered in spikes and bloods, and it's so ridiculous.
Yes, and it's amazing, and I love it. It is self-expression. Do your thing.
Watain is one of the best live bands in the world, and it smells
like
Watain.
I don't know them.
Metal band. They just take everything to the next level. Like, it smells like shit because there's like rotten animal heads places and like blood everywhere and corpse paint, and it's so ridiculous, right? So like I like it, but I've seen them before, and I'll start giggling at points because I'm like, this is so fucking silly.
It's
silly as fuck, and that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna tell someone else that they're fucking stupid because they like some subgenre of dumb shit, you know? Look at hardcore dancing. I love singing. I love it's silly, dude. It's silly as fuck, and I like it. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, dude. It's so dumb. Like, even when I watch videos of like awesome big shows and I see people doing it, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I used to do that. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm figuring it this way, Mike. Man, these kids are having fun and
that's all that matters.
You know what I mean? And that's what you do, and that's what you go there for. So like, you know, everything's stupid looking at it from the outside. You're like, why the fuck?
Right.
You know, it's like back to the religion thing. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. You know,
that's all that any of this is it's you that you found the thing that makes you feel good. And we only live on this earth for so many years and we want to feel good if we can. So why not do the thing that makes you feel good?
Yeah.
And so
people, as far as like say negative lyrics, like me writing sometimes negative lyrics that aren't just horror shit, like horny lyrics or horror movie stuff, I'm like, you know how many people think about that stuff and they don't do anything positive? And to me, especially when I feel like shit and I write a really negative song that's genuinely negative, not movie based, and people are like, are you okay, bro? I'm like, yeah, because I took like this shit, like shitty feelings or a thing that's kind of terrible about myself, and I put it to a beat and I made it like almost fun.
You exercise that demon, bro. That's what that is.
Like saying it over and over and thinking about it makes me like feel like it's, I don't know. And by the time stuff comes out, people will be like, we're thinking about lyrics. Sometimes I'm like, well, I already thought about that. It's just a place and time, you know. When
that's what therapy is you go to a therapist and you talk about it over and over and over, and it gets it out of your system.
Yeah, and I make like, you know, by the time shit comes out, I'll be like, oh, I haven't even thought about that. Like, well, you know what I mean?
In the interest of like transparency and fairness, I've actually been one of those guys that reached out and was like, hey man, you good?
I understand that. Because sometimes it'll be like, I get it, but I'm like, that wasn't necessarily where I was at in my own head, or I'm like metaphorically, like,
yeah.
You take it to the ridiculous fucking level, and it's like every song does that.
I mean, and I mean, again, in all fairness, I just asked. You said you were good. I said, cool. I was just checking. Like, it's not a big deal, but I mean, but yeah, people do take things too seriously. People do misunderstand stuff, and that's just part of it, man. I mean, and I say things that people get misunderstood all the time. It is what it is.
I'm a pretty negative person a lot, and I have. I'm fucking bipolar and shit, and I'll be depressed a lot, or like I'm a relatively like grumpy, angry dude a lot of times. I'm not, but I'm nice to other people. But internally, you know what I mean? I feel like Bill Burr.
Yeah. Beating yourself up inside. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, man. When I do that and like make patterns and beats out of shit, like make music and think about that stuff, it's almost like making fun of myself in a way, and it makes it easier. I don't know.
I mean, everybody sees beauty the way they want to see it. So like, it's everything is the same, bro. Like
anything I wasn't supposed to like as a kid, you know, I'm a kid, and you hear about like you got fucking Nancy Reagan and Tipper Gore starting a fucking PMRC, and like, so
yeah.
I'm here on TV living in Florida as a kid, and they're like 2 Live Crew, and shit. I'm like, what's that? And then I think it's the coolest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life because I'm not supposed to listen to it.
That's what they did. They messed it up by telling you not to listen to it.
It's like, people, how do you like this? I'm like, well, I've always like shit you're not supposed to listen to, rap and death metal and all. You know, it was like anything. Like when I'm a kid and I'm like, these fools are over there burning churches down in Norway, and you don't realize they're just fucking dorks till you get older. You know? But like, I want to know what they're doing. I'm like, oh, what kind of shit are they doing? They put fucking, you know, gangster rap on TV as a kid, and they're talking about killing people and drugs, and I'm like, sick. Let me get, where do I hear that?
I mean, do they not think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah, like I like horror movies, and I like, you know, I've always liked stuff like that, man. And it's almost like, why can't you? Everybody don't think about Rambos and kittens all the time. I don't know.
I don't think about that shit ever, dude. The parental advisory sticker did like the opposite of what it was supposed to do.
I've even put them on my covers on a couple of my digital things for the fact that they look fucking cool. If I was buying a metal or any rap related, either genre, punk rock, whatever, punk rock, metal, any rap thing as a fucking kid, like a CD or something, and it didn't have a parental advisory sticker, I'd be like, this shit's probably fucking dumb.
Dude, that's exactly right.
You ever accidentally get an edited something or like a home CD and you get all the cuss words are gone? You're like, this is fucking dumb, dude.
What's worse than getting an edited album at like Walmart as a kid? I don't think that there's anything that bummed me out more than that.
I would have rather feel like, yo, you can go back in and let some like 300-pound dude punch you dead in the mouth and try it out. Like, I saw that, bro. I don't want. Oh, that just happened to me the other day on the internet. So you saw that 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne are putting a thing out. So they dropped.
I love both of those guys. So yes,
they put a new single out Friday called Pressure. So I go to listen to it and I was like, all right, cool. I'm in my car and I'm listening. And I'm like, hold on a fucking minute. Right at the beginning, I caught it when like 2 Chainz was like, I fell in love with a thick. I fell in love with a bitch. I was like, you just bleeped 2 bitches out of there. I know what you're up to.
I know what you're up to.
I had to go back and find the real version. I'm like, why do they still do that?
Dude, I don't know. Probably radio. All that is now is a radio edit, which I don't understand that either.
I don't know I exist, but you know, I don't believe in my heart, or I believe that 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne know that fucking no one wants to listen to a clean version of their song. No one likes the clean versions of their own songs, or they wouldn't say so many bad words. It's fucking bullshit.
Facts. No, that's for real. You ever heard something like WAP on the radio? It sounds so ridiculous because it's.
No one wants to listen to that shit. It's like a Kids Bop version. They might as well make a Kids Bop version. Those church things. Oh, can we go back to that? We want to say it's related. My friend took me like 8 or 10 years ago and took me to something with this kid. It was at like a fucking modern-y church, and it was outside. It was a Halloween event before where they had free stuff for all the kids and this and that, right? And they were jamming these Jesus songs. And this was when LMFAO was really popular. And someone took whatever that party song and made it Praise Party. I will never forget it. I was about to cry. It's like, praise party in the house tonight. And the break was every day we're praising him. But I was out there about to cry. I was laughing so hard listening to that. So,
I kind of want to find that on the internet and make a video about it just
Praise
because.
Party, there's a whole like group of like musicians that make like these Kids Bop Jesus versions of popular. Like I think there's like Drake ones and Taylor Swift.
Dude, there's gotta be, bro. There's gotta be.
Hilarious too. Like they're like the corniest things you could ever think of saying, probably. I don't know, man. It's fucking funny to me.
No, that stuff is amazing, bro. I hate to have to cut this short, man. I got to get out of here. I got to get ready for work. What does your schedule look like the next couple of weeks? I feel like we should do a part 2 of this.
Let's see. I have a show Saturday. I have I think like the Makeup Gray Day tour is the 5th, like next week sometime or after Halloween or something, a couple days after Halloween. I don't know. I'll probably go to that still.
So if a random Monday or Tuesday in like say 2 or 3 weeks, you'd probably be available, huh?
Yeah, except for maybe the Monday. Here's another one. November 9th. Project Pat is doing a show in Tampa. But here's the thing. The doors aren't till 9 and there's 7 fucking openers. Even if they only play a little bit, I was like, so Pat ain't gonna go on till at least midnight or 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
My old ass, I'm like, I'm gonna have to take a nap at like 5 in the afternoon or something. So
no facts. I would get there at like 10:30. I would miss like half the openers.
Last call, or the cutoff time's like 3. So I'm like, I bet he's gonna play till like 2 o'clock. It's gonna be like 12:30 or something. I don't know, but I'm probably gonna go to that shit.
Well, it's all good, man. I mean, we talk enough. I'll just reach out in a couple of weeks. I think part 2 is coming soon, folks. So if you like hanging out with me and TJ,
I'll shut up now.
No, it's all good, bro. Both of us keep yapping. This is why we get along so well, because we're kind of like doing the stuff. We stay busy all the time, but when we get to talking, we just start talking to each other. We're like, dude, check this out. Hey, bro, check this out.
My brain's just a fucking jumbled mess of noises and like 8,000 things happening at once every second.
That's why you like black metal, dude. I have so much crap going on, but yeah, I got to shower and get ready to go to work because they want me in at 2 o'clock for some reason. It doesn't make no damn sense. What am I gonna do for 10 hours today, bro? Like, anyways, shout out to Alamo Draft House for keeping your boy employed, but like, still, like, what? Yeah. 10 hours on a Thursday, bro? Why?
So we need people to share this video, right? Go share.
Facts. Yeah, please share this video. Please watch the video. That'd be cool.
And play it on shuffle and just let it play the whole night while you're sleeping. Just give me a million.
That would be super dope. You should definitely do that. And if you got like 5 or 6, computers throughout your house, it's not a big deal to just turn them on and let them run.
Harass other artists that are similar to me and shit on their fans and tell them better just start internet beef.
Clip videos from anything 31 TV or Punk Rock Review. Clip it up. Make your own short. Make fun of me. I don't care. Just get my face in front of other people's face. Get TJ's face in front of other people's face. Come on, we can do it. I know we can. Let's get famous together.
All right, man. But have a good day. Thanks for
having sir. Me. Hell yeah, dude. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks, man. We should just make it kind of semi-regular.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. You're gonna put this out.
Hell yes. Oh, right? Dude, we didn't even really talk about the fact that that's how we like got to know each other was Halloween and shit. Like,
start talking about like church music, fucking. Just I need someone to direct me in an interview.
I'm gonna have cards next time we talk, and it's gonna be like subjects, and I'll just go bam, and you gotta switch the subject. Yo, let's go. All right, everybody. I'll see y'all next time, man. Y'all be good.
Have a good one.